statistic. Plus or minus critical value. And then it even says standard deviation of the statistic. So your statistic that we're going to be using for this one, if you look through the problem, it says, as part of the Pew Internet and American Life Project, researchers conduct 2 surveys in late 2009. First survey, random sample, 800 U.S. teens, media on the internet. Second one, similar questions to adults, saying that whether they use social networking sites as well. Before we even do a confidence interval, we got to try those 3 things. Is it normal, random, and what else? Independent. Yep. So look for those 3 things in that question. Does it say anything about random? Perfect. Check it off the list. All right. Now, normal. It can be normal one, but you have to do it with all combinations. NP has to be greater than or equal to 10. We use that greater than 30 rule for the means. This one we use this NP rule. So we need to actually do this 4 times. N1P1. N1P1 minus P1. N2P2. N2 1 minus P2. And see if all those conditions are met. So the first one is 0.73 times 800. Think it's going to work? Okay. How about 0.27 times 800? Sound all right? Bigger than 10? But the other one, 47% of 2,253, going to be bigger than 10? Okay, how about the opposite, 0.53? Okay, how about independent? So this is where you've researched 800 U.S. teens and 2,253 U.S. adults. More than 10 times big?
Yeah.
Yes, so we're looking for 10% or less is got to be in our sample. So 800 is 10% or less, okay. So now once we figured out all those conditions, then we can do the statistic, critical value, and standard deviation and things like that, which sometimes I believe they're calling this the standard error, to remind you of that. Okay, so what's the statistic that we're working with? We've got 2, right? Let's see. What math are you doing? Because in the wording, it says something about the difference of them. So that means we've got to subtract them and find out what the difference is between them. Is that what you did?
Yeah.
What'd you get? 0.26. And this is... What's that? So the statistic is going to be that 0.26. Critical value. So 95% confidence interval. Critical value is going to be your Z when you're dealing with proportions. Mean, it's your T. So for this one, this is our Z value. 95%. So you might need the chart. What's our critical value? 1.96 is our critical value for that one. And then, let's see, standard deviation. So our standard deviation of our statistics, that's that crazy formula that incorporates both of them, right from that other side of the paper. That P1, this is where that formula is going to go. P1, 1 minus P1, P2, 1 minus P2 over N2. So yes, you're given that sentence, and you've got to fill in all these other things. You've got to know what critical value stands for. Got to know which standard deviation formula to use. So this one's going to involve a little bit of math within here to find the standard error or the standard deviation for this. This is where we're going to put 0.73 and 0.27 over 800, because there was 800 people in that sample. 0.47 and 0.53. 2,253 in that sample. At 0.018883. I kept the whole thing, not like you really have to or not. That end part after the plus or minus is considered that margin of error. And let's see. I got to be like 0.03, something like that. Sound right? I kept the whole thing just because I got like that, 7011, something like that. You might have got something close. You don't have to keep all of the decimal places. I just do just because not sure, I don't want to make a mistake. Plus I'm trying to make it an example so that hopefully it's as accurate as possible. So you want to add to that 2.26 and you want to take that away from 0.26. So when you add it, and then when you subtract it, you're going to come up with your interval there. I counted it as 223. I know Caleb's going to complain about that. Yeah. 223. And then my upper portion was? 297. 297 is what I got as well. And we can go back and remember the wording for this one. We are 95% confident that the true... Now, you can't say mean, you can't say proportion. This is talking about difference of proportion. So we have to use that wording in there. We are 95% confident that the true difference in the proportion of all U.S. teens and adults. You want to use it in the context of the problem. They were talking about using social media, so who use social networking. All right, I'll use your wording. From 0.223 to 0.29. Let's hear